There exists an AI that finished 70,000th in the world last season in FPL, beating 99% of human players without any human intervention. Last season's winner of FPL, Jonas Lawback, won FPL by using methods just like this one. Welcome to FPL Mate, my name is Dan, and today we're going to have a look at an artificial intelligence built team just to see how good it is, and there are a few surprises in here. Okay guys, so this video uses the Fantasy Football Hub My Team tool, which is making it easier than ever to hit the highest ranks in FPL. You can try this tool out for free or get 50% off your Fantasy Football Hub subscription using the link in the video description. And if you sign up now, they will give you your money back if you don't win your mini league. You need to sign up though now if you want to get this offer. Last season, this tool helped over 50,000 users win their mini league. So there's a good chance that whoever won your mini league last season was already using Fantasy Football Hub's tools as a premium user. I've been using these tools for 4 years now to improve my game, and I can't recommend it enough. Link in the description. Let's get going. So guys, today I'm going to show you this team built by AI that it thinks is a perfect 100% rated team. It's really, really good according to the data, the analytics, and then after I've shown you it, I'm going to tell you exactly how it has built this team and how it works so you can understand how you can use these kind of tools to improve your own game, just like the last winner of FPL did the exact same thing to help them win the whole of FPL. So guys, let's see some players I'm sure you're excited to see. We'll start off in goal, and we have actually got Jordan Pickford as our goalkeeper for this team. Pretty decent fixtures, and this team, by the way, is built with the first 6 game weeks in mind, with a preference for those great fixtures at the start of the season. And certainly Pickford has a few nice fixtures in Brighton and Bournemouth, but the AI has recognized that Pickford also gets a lot of save points in those more difficult games, so he can definitely provide a decent amount of value for money at 5 million. Certainly a little bit cheaper than some of those other more expensive goalkeepers. Into defense, our first player that I want to speak about is going to be Trent Alexander-Arnold. We have got another defender in the starting 11 that did surprise me a little bit, but we'll save them for last. So Trent Alexander-Arnold, as we know, Liverpool have amazing fixtures, and the AI has calculated that. And what we see here, guys, is that we've got a decent amount of predicted points over the first 4 game weeks, particularly Brentford and Nottingham Forest, with Liverpool expected to do particularly well in those home fixtures at Anfield. And you can see that's reflected here in the predicted points, where actually Brentford and Nottingham Forest have higher predicted scores for Trent than the Ipswich game. Gvardiol is our next player. So far, so good. AI, you know, ball. And we've got Chelsea as the opening fixture, but then that really nice fixture against Ipswich, where Gvardiol is predicted 6 points. Now, by the way, guys, on these predicted points, we don't mean that Gvardiol will score exactly 6 points necessarily, but given the data we have, you know, considering the chances of a clean sheet, the odds of goals and assists for the player, we see an average of around 6 points. So actually, we could very well see him score many, many more points than 6 in this game week, particularly with a goal and a clean sheet. Can you imagine that? But certainly a player that is on a lot of our minds anyway, the 6 million defender. We've got one more 6 million defender. You're probably expecting an Arsenal defender. You'll be completely wrong. The AI has not chosen any Arsenal defenders. It has instead chosen Robertson. Yes, in fact, Robertson is the highest predicted point scoring player in the defense, in the back line, for any player in FPL, according to the algorithms that have been processed. Guys, I think it's mostly because Robertson last season actually puts up better underlying data than Trent. Robertson, remember, is on some of those set pieces, but actually he was doing better when he was playing for Liverpool. The question is around Liverpool is whether he will start or not in game week 1. We understand that he is coming back to fitness. He is back in training, so he is going to have a chance to be available in game week 1 after sustaining an injury during the Euros. But because there is no actual guaranteed injury news around Robertson, the AI has nothing to process there and is assuming that Robertson starts. And it also presumes that if Robertson starts, he could actually outscore a lot of the other defenders we've all been talking about, which is quite surprising, I think. But the data don't lie, and this you know, this tool clearly knows what it's doing. That's why it finished at such a high rank, beating so many human players and actually beating a lot of experts last season. Let's move on into the midfield, and we've got Mo Salah as our first pick here. So yes, the AI likes Salah in the team. I know some people are trying teams without Salah. Well, the AI disagrees with you, expecting big points against Ipswich, Brentford, Man United and Nottingham Forest, and makes him a real nice captain option for each of these game weeks as well. So Salah makes the cut, as does Saka, who I know some people are quite critical of. Don't really understand why. His underlying numbers last season were amazing. His point scoring was insane last season as well. He did really, really well, but I think because a lot of people can't afford Saka in their FPL teams, they are maybe being more critical of him than maybe they should be. It's all about agendas at the end of the day. In the world of FPL, we all find our own agendas and we run with them. But look here, guys, the points predicted are very, very high indeed. And Saka is obviously expected to do very well, the star man in the Arsenal team for a new season as they look to try and maybe clinch that #1 spot this season. So Saka makes the cut. The next player in this midfield is Eberechi Eze. Yes, I know a lot of people are more optimistic about Eze. He seems to be unanimously loved in the FPL world at the moment. Really high predicted points for a player who is only 7 million. We really like the look of this. 6.1 predicted points against Brentford in the opening games. And then we've got the likes of 6.7 against West Ham and 6.9 predicted points against Leicester, which is absolutely huge. That's a really, really high predicted score. In fact, in this team, he has the second highest predicted points in game week 4. Only Salah's predicted points against Forest are higher than Eze in this particular AI team that is rated 100%. Next up, we have got Heung-min Son, who is actually, interestingly, predicted less points than Eze. Yes, the AI thinks Eze is a better pick than Son, even before you consider the 3 million difference in price, because Son is obviously a 10 million man. So, if you are looking between Saka and Son, for example, then the AI and the predicted points and the analytics and all of this nerdy data stuff that a lot of people, you know, we can't really be bothered to think about this stuff. I can because I'm a massive nerd, but Saka is predicted more. He is predicted more. So hopefully that may settle some debates, I suppose, but I'm sure the Son gang will still be up in arms. But regardless, despite this, Son still makes this AI's team, despite the high price tag. Nice fixture against Leicester, and Everton, 6.5 points, not too bad either. And Son is even predicted to do reasonably well in the difficult fixtures against Newcastle and Arsenal. So I found that quite interesting to see him with 5.6 predicted points against Arsenal, but it's certainly a fixture he likes, and maybe that's been taken into consideration. Our final midfielder is a surprise. Guys, hold your breath before you see this one, because it is going to be Brereton Diaz. Yes, Ben Brereton Diaz, the new Southampton signing, starting off the season away against Newcastle, and yet his predicted points for a 5.5 million midfielder is genuinely really, really good. We spoke about this player very briefly on yesterday's video. Do go check that out if you haven't done already, by the way, guys, because, yeah, it's a good video, and it's, you know, kind of predicting who's going to be a breakthrough player in FPL this year. And Brereton Diaz was mentioned in that video as a potential guy for that. And certainly, for the AI, it really seems to rate Brereton Diaz. He had really good stats last season for Sheffield United, potential penalty taker as well. And Southampton's fixtures in general aren't too bad. I mean, Newcastle, Man United, they're not great fixtures on paper, but actually neither of these teams are solid defences. So you can certainly see a player like Brereton Diaz kind of playing out of position in a central striker kind of role potentially. Could really do some damage there despite being listed as a midfielder. The AI likes him, guys. What can I say? Moving up front, we have got Isak at, of course, everyone knows that Isak is like the top pick in FPL this year. He's just such good value for money at 8.5 million. We've spoken about him enough already. Everyone's got him in. Even if the computers are saying bring him in as well, it's time to accept. If you haven't got Isak, you need to take a long, hard look in the mirror. Maybe visit the doctors for a head scan, because what's going on? Is there anyone out there who doesn't have Isak? You must be crazy. Anyway, our final forward, again, is a little bit interesting because it is Muniz. Muniz currently in FPL is only sitting at around 7 or 8% ownership. And I know a lot of people don't have him in their team. However, the AI thinks that he is the best cheap forward to go for, with Manchester United the opening fixture. But it's really Leicester, Ipswich and West Ham where there's some really nice high predicted points. Certainly high for such a cheap player in the forward position. So Muniz, highly recommended with Fulham's fantastic opening fixtures, even by the AI. And guys, we are going to have a look at the bench, but please let me know, what do you think of these picks, particularly Robertson, Brereton Diaz, and Muniz, who are maybe a little bit more out there? I mean, even Son is a little bit differential, and yet the AI is picking all of these players. So it's not like this AI is just picking a super template, boring, bog standard, I guess, influencer team that you might expect. It's not. It's actually picking some interesting players and predicting them to do really, really well. And that really surprised me when I was working on this video to see that it's going for some different players. So what do you think? Do you think the AI is crazy? Has it lost its mind? The ones and zeros not working out right now? Let me know what you think about that. Of course, guys, make sure you are liking and subscribing as well if you do enjoy the content. But we do need to have a look at this bench, and it is a bare bones bench for the AI. It is looking to pretty much leave these 4 players on the bench every single game week. Fabianski, Barco, Face and Stewart all remaining on the bench for every game week, as they are not predicted super high points. But interestingly, looking through the AI kind of expectations and predictions, it is not expecting any 4 million goalkeeper to get any points. Out of the forwards, Stewart is the only one it seems to be interested in at 0.1 predicted points per game, which again is super, super low. But the 2 most interesting 4 million defenders are Barco and Face, or Fass, however you say his name. I'll never get it right. And they have okay predicted points. It's nothing like Trent, Vardy or Robertson, but it's still not bad. It's still not bad. The captain would obviously go on Salah because he has the highest predicted points for game week 1, and vice captain actually on Isaac, 7.1 predicted points for him in game week 1. And that is the team that the AI has come up with. This is rated 100%. This is the perfect team according to the data, the calculations. And now, guys, you've seen the team. Let me try and explain to you how it works and how you can kind of use AI recommendations to really improve your game, because there is a little bit of nuance here, and I know a lot of people have a lot to say about these kind of things in FPL now. So here we are, guys, back on the Fantasy Football Hub's My Team tool, and this is where we've got all of the data and information to make today's video. This is the AI that is building this amazing team that's obviously given this team a rating of 100%. If you want to have access to this tool, you can click the link at the top of the description right now and follow along with the AI team every single week. But let me just explain to you how it kind of works, because it's quite interesting. Basically, the way it works is it takes the most up-to-date player data and team data, and it's constantly updating as well. So even during preseason, we've seen a lot of the predicted points kind of shift around, and the 100% rating team changes a little bit as time moves on, as different things are taken into account. So it's constantly learning, processing new information, and the data, the objective stuff that we usually would have to go out of our way and look up. Who's got the most expected goals? Who's got the most expected assists, which team is conceding the most shots, for example. It factors it all in via an algorithm. And then what you can do is use this information to predict FPL points. And that is exactly what this tool has done. Now, if you wanted to, you could just copy this team every single week. If you are signed up as a premium member of Fantasy Football Hub, you can do that. You can just copy it every week. And it's going to give you a respectable rank that will probably allow you to win most of the mini leagues that you're in. But the real key to using this is more than that. And it's more than just copying what a computer tells you to do. Because if you want the highest rank, you have to combine the data with your own knowledge and research. For example, Robertson, if we get some some information that Robertson is, maybe not 100% available for game week 1, we can use that information and remove him from this team. The AI doesn't necessarily know everything like that, and it's more to do with those numbers and those factual things rather than, players who are in, really, really good form, shown really good pre-seasons, players who have been impacted by transfers or changes in manager. It's going to be difficult for the AI at this moment to predict those things. So if you combine this information with what you have in your head, then that is where you get the really high ranks. But saying that, guys, like I say, without even any of the human input, this team still does amazingly every year. So if you do want to get that really high rank, you've got to use your head a little bit. And I think there is some misinformation about how people are using analytics tools like this one to succeed in FPL, because you do have to think a little bit, at least a little bit. All the top managers seem to be using tools like this one, in combination with their own knowledge. And I guess I'll tell you how I use tools like this. And I've been using Fantasy Football Hub for 4 years, by the way, guys. I work with them because I love them. It's not the other way around, trust me. So if you have like 2 players that you really like, for example, and you can't decide which player you want to select, rather than just flipping a coin to decide which player you want to choose, well, why not use the AI tool to do it? So, for example, if I want to make a transfer, I've got maybe, let's just remove Saka from this team, for example, and I know I need a midfielder that costs around 10 million or less. So we've got some suggestions here of who has the highest predicted points, and Saka is at the top. Eze, Son also towards the top, could potentially go for those. After that, De Bruyne, Gordon, and instantly, if I've got a 50-50 between Saka and Son, well, then it's telling me to choose Saka, so maybe I do. Works the other way around, guys. If I don't have a clue, I don't even know where to start of what players to pick, I could just have a look through this list. And this tool is not just on the My Team tool. We can also do the exact same thing on the points prediction page, which uses all the same data, all the same AI. So, I need to buy a midfielder who between game week 1 and 5 and costs 6.5 or less. Give me some suggestions of who I can maybe go for. Brereton Diaz at the top, Bailey and Nkunku, Garnacho, He-Chan. And it's just generated me a list of potential options that I have at my disposal. So I don't have to go digging through every player in the Premier League to try and find that player that I want. And now I've got my list of several suggestions. Now I can just do some research on the individual players. I can have a look at some of the highlights. I can have a look at, some manager quotes from them and what their form has been like recently and stuff like that. So it all adds together and works like that. Going back to the My Team tool, there is other ways, this is really useful. For example, you can have, your AI transfers here. So if you want to make a transfer, what it can do is it can suggest some transfers to you to make. I don't think it's going to work on this occasion because I've already got like the perfect team. So it's not really going to have any suggestions for me. It's saying sell Lumley and buy Turner for no apparent reason. I've just been putting a random 4 million goalkeeper in that's never going to play anyway, so it didn't matter. But if I did have like a big problem in my team, maybe I can just show this as an example. So if I picked like a defender that it really didn't like very much, or not as much as some of the others. So let's just put like, I don't know, let's go like to page 9. Let's put Region in. Sorry, Region, you're going in as an example of who not to pick. And I click AI transfers. Hang on, let me just save this first. And then we click AI transfers. Hopefully, what it's going to do is it's going to suggest to me a replacement for Region because it doesn't really like that pick. It doesn't really think that is going to be a player who scores many points. And straight away, there we go. It suggested sell Region, buy Trent Alexander-Arnold. It knows my exact budget that I have. It can calculate that and, just show me what I need to do. The great thing about this tool this year is that you can just screenshot your team straight away and import that into the tool straight away. So it just builds your team that you have right now for you. And then it can make suggestions for you based on that. It can make suggestions pre-season. It can make suggestions during the season as well. It's really, really powerful. It's really useful. But remember, it is a tool to help you streamline your process. If you want to just copy it every week, that's fine too. You will be able to get a respectable rank just by blindly following the AI. But to really make the most of it, you combine it with your own knowledge and your own research, and that's how you get to the mega ranks like we saw with the winner of FPL last season. So guys, please do go check out this tool. The link is at the top of the description. You can get 50% off right now, plus your money back if you don't win your mini league. That is how confident they are right now. It is like super highly recommended by everyone in the FPL space right now, and if you use my link, it really does help support the channel as well. So I'd really appreciate you guys if you did use my link when signing up for this tool. But guys, yeah, let me know what you think. Is AI taking over the FPL space? Are you using it? Are you open to using it? I'd love to get some of your thoughts around this topic going into the new season, because looking at the team it built, it's pretty good. It is a pretty good team, and I would be more than confident going into game week 1 with the exact team that it suggested. Maybe a few of you guys are feeling the same way. Leave a like if you did enjoy this one. Make sure you do subscribe if you're new around here as well, and let me know what other videos you'd like to see in the run up to game week 1. But thank you so much for watching once again, and I will see you later, mates. Bye bye.